Hello Junior Sheiks, welcome to our first lesson in Unit 1, the meaning of ratio and its properties. Let's see what is the meaning of ratio. If I told you that I need to bake a cake, so to bake a cake I will need for 2 cups of sugar and 4 eggs. So every 2 cups of sugar will need 4 eggs to bake a good cake. If I need to bake another cake, so I will need 2 cups of sugar and 4 eggs. So there is a ratio between the number of cups of sugar and the number of eggs. Every 2 cups of sugar needs 4 eggs. So we can say that there is a ratio between the number of cups of sugar and the number of eggs. Let's take another example. In this picture, I can see 2 boys and 3 girls. We can express the relation between the number of boys and the number of girls by using ratio. So I can say that boys to girls is 2 to 3. Or I can write it in this way, 2 to 3. The 2 dots means 2. So read it as 2 to 3. And there is a fraction form 2 over 3. 2 and 3 are the 2 terms of the ratio. The first number, which is 2, called the first term. We called it also antecedent. What about the 3? 3 is the second term, which we called it consequent. So, the order of the ratio is so important. The order of terms of the ratio. When I want to say number of boys over the number of girls, or number of boys to number of girls, it will be 2 over 3. Boys, number of boys 2, number of girls 3. But if I want the number of girls over the number of boys, or number of girls to the number of boys, it will be the opposite, which is 3 over 2. So the order is so important. The order of terms of the ratio is so important. So now we can define the ratio. Ratio is the method to compare between 2 numbers or 2 quantities of the same type and the same units by division. We said that we compare between number of boys and number of girls. I cannot compare between number of boys and the length of boys. In this case, I will have 2 different units. So, you must, in ratio, compare between 2 same quantities from the same type and the same units. 2 quantities or 2 numbers from the same type and the same unit. And here I can say that the number of boys equal 2 over 3 the number of girls. And that's how we use the ratio to compare between 2 numbers. So let's find or let's solve an example. Here I have 8 red circles and 7 green triangles. So if I want to find some ratios between these 2 shapes, first number A, number of triangles to number of circles. Number of triangles to number of circles. I have 7 triangles and 8 circles, so the ratio must be 7 to 8. Number B, number of circles to number of triangles. So the ratio will be 8 to 7. Number C, number of circles to number of all shapes. How many shapes do I have? I have 8 circles and 7 triangles, 15 shapes, yes. So the ratio will be 8 to 15. Number D, number of triangles to number of all shapes. I have 7 triangles and 15 shapes, so it will be 7 to 15. So let's see the properties of the ratio. Property number 1. Property number 1 said that the ratio has the same properties of the fraction as reduction, simplifying, and comparison. We know that the fraction 15 over 25 is not at its simplest form. So I can simplify, as we studied before, the fraction 15 over 25. Both of the numbers are divisible by 5, so I will divide both of the numbers by 15. So the answer will be 15 divided 5 is 3, 25 divided 5 is 5. So the 3 and 5 is in its simplest form. Also, the ratio can be simplified as we will see here. I will divide both terms by 5. So the 15 divided 5 will be 3 and 25 divided 5 will be 5. So 3 to 5 is the simplest form of this ratio. Let's see here an example to simplify ratios. I have number B, 24 to 36. This example is from your booklet. 24 to 36. I want to put it in the simplest form. Here I have 24 and 36. First, both of them are even numbers. How do you know that the number is even? When you look at its units and you find the units, it's 0 or 2, 4 or 6 or 8. So I have here 4 and I have the unit here 6. So I can divide them by 2. But what if I want to divide by a bigger number? 24 and 36. Both of them divisible by 3. Yes, 24 divided 3 equal 8. 36 divided 3 equal 12. And 8 to 12 is not at its simplest form. Both of them are divisible by 4, so I will divide them by 4. 8 divided 4 equal 2. 12 divided 4 equal 3. Now I have 2 and 3. When you find two consecutive numbers or two numbers after each other, so the numbers or the ratio at its simplest form. Let's see number C, 64 to 72. Yes, it's also divisible by 2, but when you think, you can divide them by 8. So 64 divided 8 equal 8. 72 divided 8 equal 9. 8 and 9 is at simplest form. So number D, 144 to 60. Yes, both of them are divisible by 2, but here 144 divided 2 equals 72. 60 divided 2 equals 30. So here I have 72 to 30, not at simplest form. Both of them are even numbers. I can divide them by 3 also, and I can divide them by 2. So here 72 divided 3 equals 24. 30 divided 3 equals 10. So here divided 2, 12 to 5. 24 divided 2 equals 12. 10 divided 2 equals 5. So the numbers here 12 to 5 at its simplest form. Okay. Property number 2. In its simplest form, the two terms of the ratio should be two whole numbers. So the two terms of the ratio must be whole numbers. I cannot put a ratio for two fractions or two decimals. So if I have two mixed numbers like this, 1 and 2 over 3, 2, 2 and 1 over 2, and I want to find the ratio between them. So I must convert them into two whole numbers. So first, I will change these two mixed numbers into two improper fractions. Okay? So, as we studied before in grade 4, 1 times 3 equal 3. 3 plus 2 equal 5. So the fraction will be 5 over 3. And the same in here, 2 times 2 equal 4, 4 plus 1 equal 5, 5 over 2. Now I have two fractions, still not two whole numbers. So I want to neglect these two denominators. So I will find the number that can be divided by both of these two denominators. What is the number that can be divided by 3 and 2? Simply, I will multiply 3 by 2, which is 6. And I will multiply the 6 by this fraction and multiply the 6 by the other fraction. So, again, multiply 2 and 3, the two denominators, which is 6. And multiply the 6 with the first fraction and with the second fraction. Then simplify easily, as we studied in grade 5. Divide 3 equal 1. The 6 divided 3 equal 2. And the 2 in the other fraction, 2 divided 2 equal 1. And 6 divided 2 equal 3. Now multiply 5 by 2, 10. 2, I have here 5 multiplied 3 is 15. Now I converted the two fractions into two whole numbers, which is 10 to 15. Now 10 and 15 is not a ratio in the simplest form. So I will simplify, divided by 5. 10 divided 5 is 2, and 15 divided 5 is 3. 2 and 3 at simplest form. Let's solve an example from your booklet. Put each of the following ratios in its simplest form. Here I have number B, 1 and 4 over 5 to 3 and 1 over 2. Convert the mixed number into improper fraction, as we said. Both of them, 1 times 5, 5, plus 4, 9 over 5. The other fraction, 3 times 2, 6. 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2. Then the two fractions, 5 over 9 over 5 and 7 over 2. Now I said we must find the number that can be divisible by both the two denominators, 2 and 5. So what is 2 times 5 is 10. So I will get the 10 and multiply it by the first fraction and with the second fraction. Then simplify. Multiply, simplify, multiply, simplify. Divide 5. 5 divide 5, 1. And 10 divide 5 equal 2. The other fraction, 2 divide 2, 1. And 10 divide 2 equal 5. Now multiply the rest numbers. 9 times 2 equal 18. 2, 7 times 5 is 35. Now 18 and 35 at the simplest form. Number C, 5 and 2, 4 over 5. 5 to 4 over 5. 5 here as 5 over 1. 2, 4 over 5 here. What is the number that can divisible by the both 1 and 5? Sure, it is 5. So multiply the first fraction by 5 and the second fraction by 5. divide 5, 1, divide 5, 1. So multiply the rest of the numbers. 5 multiplied 5. Here I cannot simplify 1 by 5. 5 by 5 equal 25. 2, 4 multiplied 1 equal 4. 25 to 4 is at simplest 4. Number D, 2 over 3, 2, 3, and 1 over 3. I converted 3 and 1 over 3 into improper fraction. 3 times 3, 9. 9 plus 1, 10 over 3. So here 2 over 3, 2, 10 over 3. 3 and 3, 2, both of them are sure divisible by 3. So I will multiply both the fractions by 3. Simplify, divide 3, 1, divide 3, 1. And 3 divide 3, 1. And 3 divide 3, 1. Now multiply, 1 times 2 equal 2. And 10 times 1 equal 10. 2 and 10, simplest form? No, it is not simplest form. So I will divide both of them by 2. Both of them are divisible by 2. 2 divided 2 equal 1. And 10 divided 2 equal 5. Now 1 and 5 at simplest form. When you find one of the terms is 1, so be sure that the ratio is at its simplest form. Okay, let's see here. What if I have a decimal number? I said I have the ratio must be at the simplest form. The numbers must be whole numbers. What if I have one of the numbers or both of the numbers decimal numbers? To delete this decimal point or to ignore, I cannot ignore it, but I can multiply the two terms of the ratio by 10 or 100 or 1000 or whatever the number needed. Here I have 5.5. To delete this point, I can move it away by multiplying this term by 10. So 5.5, the point is after one digit, so I will multiply this number by 10. If the point after 2 digits, I will multiply it by 100. If the point after 3 digits, I will multiply by 1000. But I will not multiply the first term only. I will multiply the both terms by 10. What you did in the first term or what you did in one term, you do in the other term. So here 5.5 to 22, I will multiply both terms by 22. So 5.5 multiplied by 10 will be 55, and 22 multiplied by 10 is 220. Don't forget this 0. I multiplied the 10 by the both terms. So here I will simplify. 55 divide 5 and 220 divide 5. Why I choose 5? Because the unit here in both terms is 0 or 5. When the unit is 0 or 5, so the number is divisible by 5. Okay, 55 divide 5 equal 11, and 220 divided 5 is 44. You can use your calculator. Here 11 to 44, yes, sure, both of them divisible by 11. So the answer will be 1 to 4. 11 divide 11 equal 1. 44 divide 11 equal 4. So here, let's see an example from the booklet exercise. Number B, 1.4 to 42. Here 1.4, the point after one digit, so I will multiply the both terms by 10. So the answer now or the ratio now became 14 to 420. Both of them divisible by 2. Divided 2, 14 divided 2 equals 7. 420 divided 2 equal 210. Okay, let's divide them by 7. 7 divided 7 equal 1. 210 divided 7 equal 30. Number C. 1.5 to 2.5. Here I have to multiply the first number or the first term by 10 and the second number by 10. So it is 15 to 25. Simplify, divide 5. 15 divide 5, 3. 25 divide 5 is 5. Simplest 4. Number D, 3.8 to 8 over 5. I will convert this number into a decimal by multiplying the denominator and numerator by 2. So 16 over 10, and 16 over 10 is 1.6. So I have here the ratio is 3.2 to 1.6 multiplied by 10, both terms. So the ratio is 32 to 16. Divided by 2, both of them are even numbers. So 16 to 8. 16 and 8, both of them divisible by 8. Yes, 16 divided 8 equal 2 and 8 divided 8 equal 1. So the final ratio is 2 to 1. What if I have two numbers and the first number, the decimal point after 1 digit, and the second number, the decimal point after 2 digits. So I will multiply both of them by 100. I will choose the greater number. I choose between 10 or 100. So I will multiply the both terms by 100. Okay. Remember that, some notes, the perimeter of the square equals side length times 4, or L times 4. The area of the square equals side length times itself, L times L. Perimeter of rectangle, length plus width times 2, length plus width times 2. Area of rectangle, length times width, L times W. Circumference of the circle, 2 by R. 2 multiplied by multiplied by R. R is the radius. So, important notes from the previous years. We will use it now. Important. Number A, important notes. Number A, if the ratio between the side length of the square and its perimeter, the ratio between the side length of the square and its perimeter equal 1 to 4. Let's figure out how the ratio between the side length of the square and its perimeter is 1 to 4. So he said that it is a fixed ratio. Every time he asked you about the ratio between side lengths of the square and its perimeter, you will say 1 to 4. It's important question. It came in the complete or in the choose. So let's find here. If I have a square, all sides here, I have 4 equal sides. So I know that the perimeter of the square, side times 4 or length times 4, is the same. The side times 4 or length times 4. So if I want to find the ratio between side length to perimeter of the square, side length, I know it is S here, like this. And we said the perimeter is side times 4. I want to simplify this ratio. So I will divide both sides or both terms by S. S divide S equal 1. And here divide S, the answer will be 4. So the ratio will be 1 to 4. So side length to perimeter equal 1 to 4. What about the opposite ratio? Perimeter to side length equal 4 to 1. Let's see an example because I said it is a fixed ratio. If I told you, I will write the example here, that a square of side length 3. So its perimeter will be 3 times 4 equal 12. So I know that the side length to perimeter, the side length here in the example is 3 to 12, which is side times 4 equal 12. 3 times 4 equal 12. Let's simplify. Divide 3. So the ratio will be 1 to 4. Every time you find this question, so the answer will be 1 to 4, according to the order of the side length or the perimeter or the opposite. Number B. Note number B. The ratio between the side lengths of the equilateral triangle and its perimeter is 1 to 3. Let's find out. I have here an equilateral triangle. All its sides is S. So all its sides are equal. I have equilateral triangle with equal sides. So the perimeter of this triangle, side times 3. And I want to find the ratio between the side length and its perimeter. I said side length is S, so its perimeter will be S multiplied by 3. So let's simplify. Divide S, because I have here S is a common between the two terms. So S divide S equal 1, and S times 3 divide S equal, the ratio will be 1 to 3. If I make the opposite of the ratio, perimeter to side length, sure it will be 3 to 1. An example here, I said it will be a fixed 1 to 3 or 3 to 1. If I have side length of equilateral triangle, its side is 5. So the perimeter will be 5 multiplied by 3 equal 15. So 5 and 15 simplify to the simplest form, divide 5. So the ratio 1 to 3. Okay, number C. The ratio between diameter length of circle and its circumference. Let's remember what is the diameter. The diameter is the line or line joining between 2 points on the circle, and it must pass through the center. So this is called the diameter. We know that the circumference of the circle equal pi times d. Pi times d. Pi times diameter. So if I want to find the ratio between diameter and circumference, diameter is d, circumference we said pi d or pi times d. If I want to simplify, so I will divide both terms by d. D divided d equal 1, and divided d here I have pi. So the answer is 1 to pi. So 1 to pi. Circumference to diameter, the opposite is pi to 1. Okay. Here, the ratio between radius length of circle and its circumference. Let's see radius. Here is the line joining between one point and the center. So here radius equal to diameter. So I replaced the d here by 2r. By times 2r. 2r is instead of the d or the diameter. So it is another rule of the circumference of the circle equal pi times 2r. Let's find the ratio between radius to circumference. Radius, we said it is r. Circumference is 2r multiplied by pi. Pi times 2r. I will divide both terms by the common symbol, which is r. So divide r here is 1, and divide r here is, the remains is 2 pi. So the ratio is 1 to 2 pi. The opposite ratio, circumference to radius, is 2 pi to 1. Okay, let's see how can we complete here in this question. The ratio between the perimeter of square and the perimeter of an equilateral triangle, if the side length of each of them is 3 centimeters. So we have first to know the perimeter of each shape, the square and the equilateral triangle. Then we will find the ratio between the two perimeters. First, the perimeter of square, I know it is side times 4, so it is the side is 3, so 3 times 4 equal 12 centimeter. Perimeter of triangle, equilateral triangle, equal side times 3 equal 3 times 3 equal 9 centimeter. Now I can find the ratio and keep the order, please, of the ratio, perimeter of square to perimeter of triangle. We said perimeter of square is 12 and perimeter of triangle is 9. 12 and 9 are not the simplest form, so divide 3. 12 divide 3 equal 4 and 9 divide 3 equal 3 and 4 to 3 at simplest 4. Let's see number C from your booklet. A rectangle which length is 9 centimeters and its area is 54 centimeter square. Then the ratio between its length and its width equal. So I have here the length of the rectangle and its area, and he need to know the ratio between length and width, but I don't have the width, so I will find width, which is equal area divide length, equal 54 divide 9 equal 6 centimeter. Now I have the width. Easily I will find the ratio between length to width. Length is 9, width is 6. 9 and 6 are divisible by 3, so I will simplify them by dividing